The other thing I've got to ask is just a couple of days ago, you were made a return to the great Kevin Brennan show, otherwise known as Misery Loves Company, and not as I call it, Missiles Love Countries. But seriously, guys, let's hang on for a second. During your break, Misery Loves Company went from being my all-time favorite podcast during the pandemic. When do you remember the pandemic?
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. I'll tell you later. Yeah, it died of exhaustion.
Call back, zinger.
Hey.
Carl, do a 2-hour episode on this.
And during the pandemic, it was Zumock and Brennan, and it was gold. I still think that the greatest bit of podcasting in the last 10 years was when that guy, he's a comedy manager. He used to manage fucking Jay Moore, and he looks a bit like Nicolas Cage.
Barry Katz.
Barry Katz. And for some reason, the camera's here, but Barry was speaking this way. And he wasn't looking at the camera. So you and Big Dawg Kev and that and the Disco Inferno looking guy were all like sort of making fun of Katz while he was talking. And then he would gradually turn around and look this way. So then everyone would go quiet and back. Very funny stuff.
It's not a bad Barry Katz for a dumb Ireland drunk.
Hey, so's your face. I got you. The comparing that comedy though to recently, Kevin Brennan has started doing a show with the toughest comedian, basically Mike Tyson with jokes, Stuttering John, like a legitimate comedy god, where he says really funny stuff. Like, Chad, did you ever notice, right? Now don't laugh because we're trying to record here, right, that Donald Trump has weird hair? What? You right?
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I didn't know. You have to look at it and then you really see. I didn't know until John Melendez pointed it out.
Let me Google this real quick.
Yeah,
observational comedy.
Yeah, also keep an eye out for his tan, because his tan is strange.
Yeah,
it's great stuff. All this great observations, like Austin Powers lines that Austin Powers, of course, just came out last weekend. It's very topical comedy.
Maybe over there.
Hughezy, comedy aside, what do the people in Ireland think of Trump? I'm just curious. On a side note,
well, in all seriousness, what they like about him is, you know, he wanted America to be more like independent. Well, yeah, that's what Ireland wants, because Ireland doesn't want to be linked with or owned by the UK.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we kind of agreed with him. Plus the racism. But with Kevin Brennan, Stuttering John, like they did maybe 6 or 7 episodes together, and there's 6 or 7 of the worst pieces of shit ever. Stuttering John is like watching let's just say, Ray DeVito try to make a great observation like about Donald Trump's hair. And Brennan had nothing to work with, so all he's got is this weird earthworm Jim looking skin complexion, while he keeps trying to change the topic to talk about Levy, your fucking what is that guy's name?
The dues payer, the shit weigher.
Chad Zumock.
Can't stomach the Zumock.
Yeah. Chad Zumock? Why would I want to do this when I can do that? Neil. But the thing is that, so talk to me, what was your opinion, what was your reaction, I should say, when you heard that Kevin Brennan, the big dog, was doing a show with the funniest comedian in the world, Stuttering John Melendez?
Well, at first, with all of this going on, I hate pylons. I think it's weird and it's gross, and I see opportunists like your boy Steel Toe and everybody. They want to just get views and clicks, and I get it. But the thing with John was like, all right, they're piling on this guy. He can't be that bad. And then when he moved to Florida, you know, I'm not doxing anyone. He lives in Cape Coral. I reached out to him because I'm like, oh, let's do a podcast. Let's see what happens. And I got on the phone with him, and then I realized how insufferable his guy really is in real life. Like, he wanted to rent a car and come, like I said, I was at the gym. He's like, what's your gym? I told him my gym. He goes, you think you get a free day pass for me and I come hang out with you? And I'm like, all right, this guy's very weird and needy. You're gonna drive 2.5 hours to go to my gym. So it just got weirder and weirder and weirder. And then I realized I don't really like this guy at all. He's like keeping me hostage in a weird way. But I also realized I was generating views and stuff. And I think Kevin, in his mind, says, okay, I'll have John on, we'll generate views. And I think John actually thought he could be Kevin's co-host because he always wants to be co-host with somebody, like whether it's Kumia, anybody, any opportunity he can get. And Kevin has him on, and he's just a clown. Like, he really is. So when I was like against people piling on, I'm all for it. Carl, Uncle Rico, pile on this guy. He's a fucking douche. Rack me.
What was your take? Because like, I know you and Levy had a bad fallout there for a while, but you're back on good terms. But you generally can see the bigger picture. What did you think when you first heard that Stuttering John was trying to get set up with Gina Levy, and the person who he asked to give him details was Bob Levy?
Yeah, it's pretty cringe all the way around. I mean, you can't deny. I mean, it's undeniable. John, if you're listening right now, and I know you are, like, you're a douche. Like, everything about you is bad. And I'm a douche. I'm not the greatest guy ever. But the fact that I can't even work with you or talk to you, and I don't like piling on. I wanted to root for you. But, John, I will say this. You make me laugh for not because you're funny or witty or clever, because you're a fucking douche. So thank you.
Yeah, and this is the thing I love about Stuttering John Melendez is he's got this giant ego of like, I worked for Howard Stern and then JLNO. And it's like, great. Now you guest co-host Jake Hudson's live stream, and Jake Hudson makes fun of you. And the weird thing is, they're actually good insults. Jake Hudson, a guy who thinks that fucking cats can fly, fucking is outsmarting a guy who was hired to be a teacher.
Yeah, I've said it on your airwaves plenty of times about John. So, Chad, I worked for the Howard Stern show around 2005, 2006. So it was after John's tenure, and they all hated his guts after he left. I mean, it was exactly what you see now going on with all these podcasts. It's exactly what was going on behind the scenes then. But what John acts like now is the way most people in the Stern world act. They all act like this. They all carry themselves kind of higher than everybody. John still thinks it's 1995. John still thinks that just because he's Stuttering John, he can still act a certain way. So I'm not surprised he's trying to still get freebies for free gym passes, and he's trying to pass himself off as the old Stuttering John. But in his world, that's who he still is. So everybody still has to tolerate it because he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not a big, listen, I don't know what your relationship is with Stern. And one of my goals was to get on Stern, and now it's like, whatever. At this point, like, it's not the same guy. He changed. He's evolved.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, exactly.
And so the Stern show back in the day was a thing. It really was. And it was a powerhouse. And a lot of these guys, even like Opie, even your boy Anthony, they can't let go of that glory of what they once had. You got to move on. You got to evolve. There's peaks, values, you know, it's like we all change and things change, and it's not the same. So the egos of a lot of these people, like, it's unbelievable because they remember that the power of the microphone and how big it was. And it was before social media was its thing. And the fact of the matter is, Stuttering John is us. We're the even playing field. I don't care how many record deals you had. I don't care what movie you're in. It's over, bro. You're a piece of shit, just like all of us, just like Hughezy. You're a bigger piece of shit than Hughezy.
I don't know.
I hate to give him like advice, but Stuttering John should quit podcasting and go on like the pop culture convention scene and be at a different convention every weekend, because you got a better chance of people recognizing you at a convention than you do somebody clicking on your podcast.
A Comic-Con.
He would make so much more money doing that than he would sitting behind a podcast, but he likes that adulation of thinking ripping on people is still the thing that he can do because that's what he did 30 years ago.
No, they'll get in there with the fucking the name's drawing on a blank right now. Dawson's Creek. Who is the star of Dawson's Creek?
Eddie Murphy.
James Vanderbeek.
Yeah, get it. Go sit in a table next to James Vanderbeek at a Comic-Con and sign autographs and talk to your fans because it's over. It's a wrap. It's done.
I don't think James Vanderbeek would want him next to him. If you know what I'm saying.
More like James Vander Geek. Am I right or what, guys?
See, if I told that joke, there would be 7 podcasts making fun of me.
But why would anybody make fun of me? That's just not fair. That's rude.
Because you got the accent, you get away with it.
Yeah, plus I'll kill people.
Hey, so back to MLC from the other day. So when you popped on the other day for that surprise appearance, what was your first reaction to the special guest host? Because as a casual watcher of MLC, I have to say I was disappointed. I clicked off because I couldn't listen to the other guy who was on the show. So I didn't get a chance to see you.
Oh, the crippled guy?
Yeah, I couldn't listen.
Well, the problem with podcasting right now is anybody can podcast, and that's everyone's showing it, and everyone thinks they're like we're all on the same level and we're all doing this stuff. But that guy is just like a no talent, and I feel bad for he's in a wheelchair, but that's not my problem. But he's been trashing me for so long. I was like, who are you? I don't know you. And he comes back with these hack Reddit stock lines, and I'm like, why do I have to deal with this? And I knew what it was. I knew the fans would like it. I knew they would like me back on. And if I created a fight with this guy, which was natural because I don't really think he's a talented guy. So, it became something, it was something for Kevin. It was something for me. And, where it goes, who knows? Did I answer that correctly?
Answer the question.
Yeah. But basically, what would you say is the status of your relationship with Brennan at the minute? Because I would hope that you two, for the sake of my entertainment, can start doing MLC again at least once a week, because this Stuttering John stuff, I'd rather help my mum fucking pick up condoms than see Stuttering John on the fucking show. Hey, did you know Donald Trump has weird hair? Did I already tell that observation?
I'll do a Florentine impression. I'd rather pick out coffins for my parents.
Yeah. I'll do a Florentine. I'd rather put my tongue back up Robin Quiver's ass and come in her mouth than hear Stuttering John tell a joke.
I'd rather play fantasy football.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your thing, Chad. Is that a Celtics hat you're wearing?
Yes, but I'm not a fan. I just literally grabbed it one day while I was out in town, and I was getting badly sunburned.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's one of my cool stories. You should let me come on your show and tell that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Go viral.